Hey everyone, we're here at Crossroads Mall and I got a guest with me. This is my best friend from high school. We're still real good friends and we're gonna check out Crossroads Mall one last time. So this was a Lenscrafters, and then I remember this being an eye doctor, like, well, it still says Jeremy King there. There used to be a Century Martial Arts right there. Yeah, straight ahead was the pet store. And then to the right over here was Montgomery Ward's. But something, was this like a, I'm trying to remember, was that a flower shop or, and then this was Eastern Treasures.
Remember this one, this is where we used to get our throwing stars at.
Yeah, throwing stars, and we threw them in my bedroom. Threw them up against the wall, remember that? I had posters hiding the Chinese star marks on the walls.
Buy some size, throwing stars, or a skateboard.
Yeah, yeah, or ninja swords.
Yeah.
That was there forever. Yeah, you can still see, it was here so long you can see Eastern Treasures written in there. And then this was some kind of ladies' clothing store, wasn't it? Oh, you can tell because it has the mirrors in there. I can't remember. That's where I'm having trouble.
Now that right there, you know what that used to be?
Wasn't it A&W?
NW, and they used to have that bar out here in front. You could sit at the bar, look in the mall. You know, just the bar stools.
See, and I can't.
They used to have an open bar right there where you could sit there and look in the mall.
I can't remember that part. I remember it being A&W, but that's it. And then I'm thinking this was the Spencer's, right? Was that the Spencer's? Or was that a Hallmark? That's where I'm having trouble remembering.
Right next to it used to be Fredericks of Hollywood, because as a boy I'd take those escalators and look at the little Fredericks of Hollywood outfits.
So that was Fredericks, and I guess that's finally gone. That was in here for a while.
I try to look out the corner of my eye and not get caught.
Okay, so we settled what this is. You can actually see the old wording there where it actually says Hallmark. So this was a Hallmark store next to Fredericks of Hollywood.
Now, one of these, way back when I was young, used to be called World Bazaar. I think it was this one. You could go in there, they had all the coconut little animals and all the bamboo stuff. It was like a bazaar store.
I do remember that. Now one of these, we used to come in because we liked the t-shirts, and it had like a half of a bug in it, and it was called Gadzooks.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that store?
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that was the store right here.
Was it right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
This one right here.
So we're thinking this used to be the old store Gadzooks.
That's where you can come and get the good hypercolor shirts and stuff.
Yeah, well, we got hypercolor shirts at Gadzooks, but I think we got it at Dillard's too.
Dillard's too used to have.
It's hard to remember what a lot of this is.
Yeah.
The biggest thing was remembering the ramp that was here.
The ramp was wicked. It took 4 times as long to walk down, but
Yeah.
the water fountain had to come up.
Yeah, the water fountain would be over on that other side. What was this? You remember what this was?
No, I have no idea.
I think there were so many women's clothing stores in here. And I don't remember this either. This had to be a jewelry store though, don't you think?
A candy store.
And you know what?
This was like a candy store, I think, a long time ago. Then maybe switched to a jewelry store.
Yeah, I think, but it was something else before, but I think you're right. I think it was Candyopolis. Or was that Candyopolis?
No, I think it was before the Candyopolis name.
Oh, it was just some other candy store? Was this a cookie store then? I can't remember.
That right down there below that was a 579 store.
579?
Yeah.
See, I don't remember what that was before either.
Yeah. Always changed so much.
Or this. And you remember, we used to buy jeans in County Seat.
Oh, yeah.
And I know that was off on a wing too, but I don't know. Maybe we can read some of the writing on some of these, but
Well, that whole wall is falling down up there.
yeah, it's I don't know if that's because of renovating it.
I remember when they were renovating this mall, and you and I would come out here.
Oh, you're talking about that wall, yeah. That's falling down.
And remember they used to come out here and they'd have the dirt ramps, and you have to walk between the particle boards and the dirt would be all in the middle, and you walked on the particle ramps.
I do remember that.
And you could just walk around the edge of the mall.
See, I can't remember this at all. You remember all the things, like you can see the plugs up there, but they would hang all the Christmas decorations up
They
there.
used to have a neat Christmas celebration.
Oh, it was a really great.
I remember as a kid coming up here and getting to see the little Santa Claus workshop.
Yeah. Oh,
things
yeah.
They had.
And
Trains.
yeah, it was all the animatronic type things. Like the little elves would move and act like they're wrapping presents or cutting the paper.
They did it pretty big.
And what that is. With that window, it makes me think it's a sporting goods store, though, like athletic shoes and yeah, Foot Locker or something maybe.
Right there, the Foot Locker, the newest Foot Locker is down over here. It's actually cute.
See, there's sporting goods stuff, so I don't know if that meant. And there's a scoreboard thing there. Oh, there it is. Sean just now found it. #1 fan. So this would have been an Auntie's pretzel place, is what Sean's thinking. I honestly can't remember. But I remember this being some sort of like fudge place, right? Is it a fudge place?
I thought I remember for a while there was a cell phone place.
Yeah, later on.
Yeah.
But like back when we were in high school, when cell phones weren't around, I'm sitting here trying to remember. I don't think they had these things up there, did they? It seems like I remember, and maybe I'm just thinking of this, but rafters, that you'd see all the kids' balloons up there, which are still one way up there. But like at Christmas times, when you get balloons for Christmas time, going through to see Santa Claus, the balloons would be way up there.
Well, they always had the steel pipes. I don't know about
I can't remember if that canvas was there.
Yeah.
Okay, but this was, well, that was a sporting goods store.
Yeah.
But this was one of these little sort of boutique craft mall things at one time.
That was another shoe store too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's obviously not Champs, because Champs hasn't went anywhere. I mean, that's like one of the last of the Mohicans here, but
that one was #1 fan. I think this might be a Foot Locker.
it's a big Foot Locker then, yeah. I mean, I don't know what it was, but you can see it was definitely some kind of sporting goods shoe store, because this would have been the display wall here.
This one was one of the last ones left in it. Was actually
And even still, right up front here, you can see where it says Asics and K-Swiss, Converse. And this was big. And I don't remember, this has obviously got the train club in here, but it was not a train club way back when. Judging by the tile, it's probably another women's clothing store or something, right? And it's got mirrors on there. Well, if you remember, this one right here was a Waldenbooks. Remember Waldenbooks that used to be in the mall? Because this was a huge Waldenbooks, and then of course, probably Barnes and Nobles closed them out when they kind of came in. Because this was a huge bookstore, which you and I didn't really go in the bookstore.
Yeah, I didn't frequent those two.
Oh, we weren't really avid book readers. This was the old J.C. Penney's. And it says flea market on there, but what they've been having is antique shows in there. And I can't remember that. Do you?
No, this is Eyeglass.
Oh, you know what? I do think it's another eyeglass place. So this exact angle right here, you can see the Le Mans downstairs, right over here, the game room. And this picture that he found right there, you can see those same lights going right there like that. And then up above was a Moto Photo right there that I was thinking was maybe a jewelry store, but at one time that was a Moto Photo. And then this down here, the shoe store, would have been right down there. And that sold like a mix of like semi-casual dress shoes and athletic shoes is kind of what that one sold. I don't ever remember buying a pair in there because I think it was pretty expensive.
But there's a crystal shop my mom used to kind of work at.
So Sean said there's a crystal shop, this little kiosk that was right out in the middle that his mom worked at. They used to put all kinds of kiosks in here and even drive cars down through here at Christmas time. Try to advertise for Christmas gifts. We're in here in the old Le Mans, and this is the arcade that was huge. And
we spent many a quarters here.
We did, a lot of dollars. And why'd we come in here?
Oh man.
To pick up chicks?
Yes, air hockey is where
air hockey, we played a lot of air hockey. We
hockey.
spent all our money in here. In fact, we begged your mom for more money.
We'd sell stuff around the house
Yeah,
to get money to come up and play.
We sold a lot of stuff. So we'll take you around and see if you can recognize anything of what's left. So this was the place where you would turn in your tickets for prizes from like the skee ball and stuff like that. And then over here, I remember all the new games over here. Like, I personally remember the hologram game that we would play. And it would be like two guys in the middle of this pit that we thought that's the way video games were going to be, is just all holograms. But then we also played Neo Geo here.
Yeah.
And Neo Geo didn't last. At one time, I don't remember this, maybe you do as a kid, but they say that bumper cars were in here. Bumper cars or go-kart track or something like that. I don't remember that either.
Because up here where you get to the air hockey tables.
Air hockey tables?
Do you remember we were playing with Jen and them? I hit that, and the air hockey jumped up and hit her in the head. She started crying.
Oh, yeah. No, was that air hockey or foosball?
It was air hockey.
Air hockey? I've forgotten how big this place is, though.
I remember this room.
It was like multi-levels, just one game console after another game's console. I'm not even sure, were these, I guess these walls were here, right? These walls there? I can't remember if...
I don't remember walls.
I mean, there might have been a half wall there or something like that, but... I don't know.
Yeah, because when you stepped up, they would have... I remember that ramp, the games were all lined up where they were all facing inward. So
yeah.
Against the half wall that was there.
Yeah, I think maybe there was a half wall or something. But I mean, that railing looks the same right there. Was it a wood floor like this, or did it have carpet on it?
It was like Super Saver Cinema carpet. And
Okay.
like the graffiti.
Wow. I mean, this is impressive what they've done with this. All this railing and this wood. And then this, I mean, this isn't fake. This is wood there too. This would have just been solid games.
Yeah, it was, dude.
But I don't remember any of the, and maybe these walls were here. I just don't remember solid walls.
Then I think they started changing this to a room where they had like a birthday. They were doing a birthday party thing here towards.
Yeah, I think maybe there were tables or something in here. It's
been about 25 years since you and I have been stepped foot in this room together at least.
Yeah, it was definitely the game room. Because the thing about this mall at Crossroads is they had the biggest game room. No one else had a game room anywhere near this size. The next one after this that would not even halfway compete would have been, what?
Tilt maybe in Quell Springs?
Yeah, Quell Springs, yeah.
Yeah,
Couldn't remember what it was called. It's still there though, right?
Yeah.
But these lights right here,
Those are like original lights.
these are original lights in here from when it was the game room. I mean, that's how it was. Flashy.
Yeah, but they were all over this. Remember, they were
Yeah.
every wall.
I think they went all the way back.
Yeah, they did.
Because that's what enticed you to come in here was was the fact that there was lights and sounds.
Unless you had epilepsy.
Like you could hear all the sounds up here of the machines.
If you had epilepsy, then you probably didn't want to come in here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. This was a jewelry store that we never went in. We bypassed that from the arcade. And I can't remember what this was either. They got all kinds of stuff stored in here, Christmas decorations and stuff. But I don't remember what was in there. Some kind of gift boutique thing. Nothing rings a bell to me. But this, we spent a lot of money in this.
Money and time.
This was the hobby shop, is what I remember it being called.
The hobby shop.
And so it actually had 2 floors in it.
Yeah.
And the back part of it had a like a display area of like models, but also actual memorabilia from World War II, Vietnam, or something like that. But the upper part had different, yeah,
Tiny figurines.
those little figurines that you paint, yeah.
Back there they had the nitro cars, the gas fueled nitro cars.
Yeah. And of course these lights right there, they were different. They had like, before the remodel, way long ago, they had
yellow squares with little globe lights.
Yeah, little globe lights. It was old looking, and so they tried to renovate it and make it look better. Would you say they renovated it about in the 90s?
We were
Maybe
our
late
senior
80s?
year, I think. No, it's our senior year.
Okay, so
'Cause
early
that's when
90s?
we were walking around and everything was in dirt.
Okay.
Yeah. It was the early 90s.
So this was the old Garfields. You can actually still see the booths in there. The tables are still in there. The booths are still in there. The lights are still in there. You can see the tiled floor in here. There's a microphone. Old windows. Yeah, I used to get my hair cut in there. This is more of the Garfields from a different angle here. Oh, here's the old bar part of the Garfields. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if you can see it with this, but there are actually liquor bottles and beer cans in the back and beer bottles back there. Yeah. Yeah, this would have been another eyewear place, because you can see where they had the glasses up on the wall. So there was eye care in there. I don't know if it's now mixed up between the other one, if this was Lenscrafters or if it was...
One of these on the corner used to be like a Sam's Optical, I think.
And they've totally taken the doors off here, because the doors are actually inside this old eye care place. And the doors are off there because they're moving stuff out of this mall. Now, there's a relic. Payphone booth right there. It's no longer there. Now this building right there, I probably need to move so I don't panic them. But this right here, way back when, my dad had an office in there for city court, city finance, something like that. It was called Person to Person, and he did like home loans in here. So this corner right there, until it closed out, it was Person to Person, and you could get your home loans in the mall. This was the survey place, but and then down, yeah, it could still be the survey place. It actually says Sam C&B, whatever that is.
I see clipboards already.
Yeah. So this is a hair salon here now, but this was originally a Winchell's Donuts. I think this has been several things as well, but it was definitely a finish line for a long time. Now this, you remember what this was though, right? This was a Radio Shack.
Oh, yes, it was.
And we used to buy all kinds of stuff in here, because do you remember us like buying stuff in here to try to rig my car stereo? And then the car stereo, we would do such a bad job that the car stereo would like melt the wires in the car. But this is where we would come to get some of the electronic things that we thought we knew what we were doing. But I can't remember this either. So this, at one point in time, I think right here, but maybe it was right there, was a toy store. And I remember the name of the toy store called Toys by Roy. And the toys that were in there were not really the best. I remember playing with them and them breaking. But I don't know. I think the toy store was right here. And then I don't remember what it was. The toy store would have closed out when Toys R Us went in.
Yeah, they kept KB here for a long time.
There was a KB here. And I can't remember where the KB was. I just remember down here was the toy store. And I don't know what this is. I don't even remember the face of that. Do you remember the face of this?
No, it's different.
Thing. So we're not sure what that was or what this was. We can't remember. And I don't remember this either, do you?
No.
But this, if you can remember it, it used to have the, right out front, it had the chief that would sit out here.
Yeah, the tobacco shop.
The tobacco shop was in here. And it used to smell so good coming through here. So they sold all sorts of pipes and bags of tobacco.
Or if it still has a tobacco smell inside.
I don't know. See if you can smell through the doors.
Sir, you gotta stop.
Okay, so I thought there was some kind of thing like a things remembered here next to this tobacco thing. But I don't think it was an actual things remembered. I think it was like an imitation deal.
Well, yeah, because they did have a thing there, a full store upstairs.
Yeah, this was like maybe something else that did little engraving or something.
This is the one right. This is the one right here. I think it's the one that used to be the hot dog on a stick.
Hot dog on a stick?
Yeah,
Some kind of corn dog or hot dog?
The girls would wear the hats and stuff, and then I think after that it turned into a cookie place.
Huh. Now, see, I can't remember. Did you go inside to sit down or no?
Where?
Right here in this hot.
No.
Could you sit down?
No, it was just a little bar thing.
Just a bar?
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't Orange Julius, was it? Okay. Okay. Hot dog. Do you remember the name of it? Do you remember the name of it?
That was corn dog on a stick.
Corn dog on a stick.
And then you also had cheese on a stick.
Right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
We couldn't remember.
We need her walking around.
Yeah. We're having trouble remembering what these things were.
Ah.
Is what we're trying to like sort of document. So this right here in our day was actually glamour shots. I don't know what it was before, but I think every girl in our high school came out here to get multiple shots and look like models. And of course, they would do their makeup and hair to where you can't even recognize them if you look at those photos today. I mean, but this is where they went. You could actually like see them getting the makeover on this side or something, and I don't know if they took them back in the back to do the photos or what. I just remember them doing the makeup, and it was flashy. Yeah, we thought this was where the pretty girls were going, but I don't know. It was a lot of makeup and a lot of hair spray and all kinds of stuff. This was Chick-fil-A, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This? Okay, so I was right.
I was eating there at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. So you can see the old tile there. So this was the old Chick-fil-A. And then over here, back in our day,
The benches are still in the same spot they used
yeah,
to be.
this was for sure Chick-fil-A right
You get
there.
so busy and you have to go back to the bathroom.
Yep,
I remember that.
that was Chick-fil-A. But this is where we bought our rayon shirts. Yeah, rayon and silk shirts. I don't remember that.
Well, actually, I have a picture of this because it still showed the Chinese.
Yeah, that was a Chinese food place. And okay. This was
This was something.
was this a watch repair place?
This was Game Time or Game Store.
Yes.
Video game store because
Yeah.
I used to come over here and watch them on the TV monitors. and
Yes.
Windows.
You're right. It was Game Time
Yeah.
because you can still see the monitor things right here.
That's what it is. Because I was looking at this, I was like, man, I remember
Yeah.
my brother being in here a lot.
Right there would have been monitors right there to show the video games playing.
Yeah. This was some kind of sports clothing store, wasn't it?
This has been a multitude of
It
things,
was
actually.
something else too, other than that.
At one point in time, it did have some sort of train thing in here way back when, but then it was also like a Christmas store, like it had Christmas decorations.
I had a couple of neat little things in there I always wanted to go see.
It's had a bunch of different things. Obviously now they do art and stuff in there. But it's been a bunch of things. This was the security area.
Yeah.
What I can't remember, did this have the county sheriff in here? Oklahoma County Sheriff? Okay. That's what was in there.
When you're a kid, you always walk away around that door.
Yeah, because you would go to the restrooms right here. Look, that sign actually still says Crossroads Mall with the old symbol. They never changed that sign to Plaza Mayor. Still Crossroads. But yeah, that was the security desk right there. And you'd walk down there for the restrooms. And this was the old Dillard's, the downstairs part. Remember, you could smell like the perfume emitting from the store right out here. I don't remember if it's perfume or cologne because I can't remember if it was men's downstairs or women's. And it's gutted. But remember, they used to have a big Christmas tree they would put up in here in that center part. So this is the old Dillard's right here, and we bought hypercolor shirts in here. Do you remember anything else that I bought in here that I thought was cool?
Z Cavaricci pants.
I never bought Z
I did.
Cavaricci. Okay, so you bought Z Cavaricci. I bought a pair of generic pants. You remember those?
Oh, those
they were
generic.
green. And you remember
I do
anything
remember
about them? You used to make fun of me with them because you said, "Why do you want to buy those?" They had the underwear hanging out of the top of them.
Yeah, they had the built-in underwear.
They had a built-in underwear band, and it was before the days where people's pants were sagging.
Yeah, it was before sagging.
It was before you would sag your pants and show your underwear. So I bought them because they were made by Genera, and I can't remember if it was before the hypercolor shirts or not. But I thought I was going to be a trendsetter.
Yeah.
No one else ever had.
Everybody always wondered why your underwear was tucked out your damn shirt.
Yeah, I used to tuck my shirt in the underwear, the little fake underwear that came with it. So we bought cologne in here. Of course, when we really didn't have money, we went in here to just spray the tester bottles on us.
Oh yeah.
Remember that? Like every Friday night?
A nice mix of about
Three different kinds of clones. And then we go down to the game room and we pick up chicks in the game room. At least the fighter chicks that were on the actual
We
game.
wouldn't know what to do if they actually came and talked
No,
to us.
we didn't know. We didn't know. I think we would have ran the other way. In fact, I think that happened a couple times.
Yeah, we'd get quiet, lower our head, probably
Yeah.
go to McDonald's, and then talk about the chick that just talked to us.
Yeah. So I mean, this is like memory lane here because this sign's still saying Crossroads right here. It doesn't say Plaza Mayor. It still says Crossroads. This right here though was this the Taco Mayo or the Orange Julius?
Orange Julius on this side, and the Taco Mayo is to the left.
Okay, so the Orange Julius was here, and that does kind of look like Taco Mayo colors, I guess.
Isn't that where we came in?
This was another card store, I think. One of the people we went to high school with was in there. That was
Is that the Hallmark?
there was Hallmark Gold Crown, which was upstairs, but
I can't make that out.
that says Foot Locker. That was a Foot Locker then. I guess I'm mixed up, but I know there was another card store in here. There was two card stores. So this was some sort of comic thing at one time, wasn't it? I think it was a well, they obviously had a booth right here at one point, a little kiosk. But this was a
That's where El Chico's was right there. Right?
well, see, you say El Chico's, but I thought it was an El Phoenix.
I think it turned into El Phoenix after El Chico.
I thought El Phoenix was before El Chico.
Because I used to come out here with my buddy. We used to sit out here. They had a bar back in there. We had
Yes,
drinks.
they did have a bar.
Yeah.
Maybe it was both of
We
those.
came in for the mojito.
But this at one time, if it wasn't Teeners, it was some kind of Western wear shop. You used to be able to buy boots in here, but this would have been like maybe early 80s, late 70s.
Oh, is this the school now?
Yeah, this is the charter school now. Now this is in the old Montgomery Wards building. This says Sam's Optical. Yeah, I remember this. See, what does this say? Picasso's Mexican Grill. But I think it's probably been several things. Because I think it was El Phoenix, and Sean thinks it was an El Chico. I can't remember where that bar was at though, but I do. Well,
Over here to the left.
yeah, that was the bar area right there. But I do remember this, because every time you came in here, it smelled so good and you wanted to eat. So maybe that was where you go to get your glasses, but was this another eye examination deal?
No. This is like a long time ago. It's called Chinese food.
Chinese food?
I could be wrong.
I don't know. If anybody remembers what this was, just leave a comment below.
Was it a Genghis Khan? Or no, Genghis Khan?
Oh, that wasn't around then. For sure wasn't around. And I don't remember what this was either. Right across from there. So you can see this poster that they placed here when they were trying to revamp the mall and change the name from Crossroads to this. This poster's been up so long that it's actually cracking. But it's just kind of one of those standard tarp type posters. Temporary thing until they actually changed it. And of course, they painted all this right through there. And that would have been the old Montgomery Ward's building there. So this right there was a shoe store. And we're thinking that this right here was Hellsberg Diamonds. So this is the arcade that's in here now until the mall closes on October 31st. And what was this?
Did they ever have a Hickory's Farm store?
Hickory's Farm used to be in the middle.
Okay, it was in those little booth.
Yeah, little booths.
For some reason I remember.
But, you know, it could have been a Hickory's Farm at one time, the way those windows are. But this would have been Macy's. Oh yeah, for sure, look. Look right here. There's a sign right here that says, Macy's Crossroads is now closed. We look forward to providing all of our services to our valued customers at any of our other 2 Oklahoma City Macy's locations. And what's funny about this is it's saying to visit the Macy's at Quail Springs Mall, which is now gone. They're actually gutting the building up there, and it's gonna be some kind of gym up there. I don't know what it is. So that sign itself, which was marking when this Macy's was closed, is actually antique all of its own. Because now the only Macy's is that Penn Square in Oklahoma City.
Maybe you should call that number and tell me just bought something at Crossroads Mall location. You want to take it back? They ask you how long you've had. I've only had it for 2 weeks.
Yeah. You guys just closed, so you can't see in there at all. They must have a black curtain there, or there's tint. But yeah, that confirms that was Macy's. So this was something else, both of these, and I can't remember what that was either. So here's a look here coming out from where the Macy's was, and just a look up at the lights of what's here now. But we can't remember what this was either. Would have been right in front of the Macy's, but I'm not sure what was here. So taking the escalator one more time, as Sean's eating a bag of chips in the mall. And there is Bath and Bodyworks there. And that was here, that's been here forever. I know it was probably something else before, but it's been here a long time. Yeah, so that would have been the Spencer. This was the Hallmark store, but there were 2 card stores in here. And I can't remember the name of the other card store, but it was like, you had Hallmark and then you had the other brand of cards that was there. So yeah, this would have been the Spencer store right here that we were having trouble remembering. That's what you saw in the old picture. So you looked up an old picture, and this would have been the Spencer store. I spent a lot of time in this store right back in the corner back there because they had the glow lights and the fuzzy posters. This looks the same. You would get whatever food that you had right there, and you'd come down here and sit, just hang out, talk with friends. Even all this down here looks the same. All this kind of rubber grippy type stuff is still the same. Now this was always the Candyopolis, and now it's something else. I don't know. I don't think that was always a nails place, was it?
Well, I think all this was McDonald's.
You think this was McDonald's? That's what we're having trouble remembering, is where the McDonald's was.
How far back that would go?
It doesn't go back very far. It looks like it was always... Looks like it was some sort of clothing store.
Yeah, before that though, this one was...
You think it was a McDonald's? I don't know, man. Surely they didn't spend the money to retile that like that. Do you think that was part of the McDonald's? The Lady Foot Locker, possibly? I think this was a shoe store as well. Not sure. But I think it was a shoe store, and that the shoes were displayed there and over there. So maybe if you remember what shoe store it was, you could chime in down below in the comments. Now this was clearly a jewelry store. Like there's the office, but you can tell it was a jewelry store because they have the cases right there, and they repaired jewelry is what Sean thinks. I don't know what that was, but look here, they've even got a phone number. This person probably doesn't even work here anymore because that's the old Crossroads Mall symbol. So whoever that person is, since this mall's been purchased since then, probably doesn't even work here anymore. But this, I'm pretty sure, we spent a lot of money in here. This used to be called the county seat. I'm almost positive. The county seat. So they sold, it wasn't officially a Levi's store.
Are you sure this one wasn't Gap?
I don't think it was Gap. I think it was county seat. And we had that girl, Kristen, that was in our geometry class that worked here and the Chick-fil-A. And they had a lot of Levi's stuff in here, but it was not an official Levi's store. But I think it was called County Seat. I don't know if there's anything in here. Sean thinks this was Gap. And maybe it was, the way that those aisles are divided. Like one side is the male and one side is the female. So maybe this was Gap. If you know, post a comment below on this as well. We're having trouble remembering because it's been so long. I wish we had a map or something that that told what these were. It's like this is going to open up as a church, or was planning on it. It's probably not now since the mall's closing on October 31st. And I can't remember what this was either. It has some steps right there. It looks like it was some sort of clothing store. Okay, so this store right here that says the skincare clinic, Sean just found this online, and it was actually Lane Bryant. When you look at the little trim down at the bottom, you can see it in this picture right there. This was Lane Bryant. And then it became this skincare clinic. Okay, so standing here looking off at this escalator right there and these support beams, and the elevator is right there. Sean's found this picture about this same angle. We probably need to be a little bit further over, but if we are, we're right where the elevator is. But look at this picture that Sean has found there. Kind of angle it different. There we go. You can see the support beam, and you can see the escalators right there. It's about this same angle that we're at right there. So you can kind of see how much was in this mall at one time. And there's actually lights on the ceiling there. And those lights are no longer there up there, but you can see the skylight. And now those lights might be there, but they're actually behind this kind of false ceiling there. This is the exact same angle. Sean just found that picture. So I'm sure that this has been multiple things at one time. This is right across where the elevator is. And there used to be the ramp here, but it actually says AE there for American Eagle. So not only does it say American Eagle right there, the AE, but it also says it on the door. And Sean and I also bought a lot of clothes in this as well. And this was a big store. So was this the... Okay, this says Deb on the front of it.
Yeah.
So that was a Deb. What was this? The Gadzooks? And I don't remember what this was. Was this the other card store? I don't know. That doesn't go very far back, so I don't think it was. Was this the other card store?
One of these was a KB.
That goes way back. I don't know what that was.
KB.
That was the KB?
Yeah, pretty sure that was KB.
Oh, it says Liberty Shoes, even though there's nothing in there. Sean thinks this was KB Toys.
Yeah, I know. I've been money.
And I don't remember this with the pipes or anything.
No, yeah.
Hey, wasn't this some kind of big t-shirt shop or women's t-shirts or clothes or something?
579?
Is that 579?
No, sorry, not 579. Route 21, I think.
Route 21? Okay.
I think.
So yeah, we didn't go down here. What was that thing? It says Infinite Audio on there, but there was clearly another sign up there. And over here, this was the Piccadilly. I don't know if it was Piccadilly's or Luby's, but it was a cafeteria.
This might be what I thought was that Chinese buffet thing.
Yeah, if you look through here,
Yeah.
this was a cafeteria of some sort. So this right here, and this still has the old Crossroads sign to release this, but this was a Brahms. And you can see the old Brahms symbol for Brahms hamburgers and dairy that's still around, just not in this mall. This was big. This looks like it was some sort of jewelry store, just judging by the cases in the window. But it's all gone. All of this stuff is gone. I just remember this being a shoe store. And it sold like men's dress shoes mainly. And of course they'd have displays of it there. Right here, this is where the actual waterfall area was, is where this carousel is. You can actually see the outline of where the old pool area was. So I threw in a lot of coins in here. And this should have been where the pool area was. And then over there where the Victoria's Secret was, did you say that where the Victoria's Secrets was a Learner's or something?
Yeah, a long time ago.
It was like a women's clothing store. Yeah, they moved the Learners, but we think that's probably where it was, and that we would have to sit on this wall as our moms were in there for like 2 hours. So this particular spot right here is where I would have had prom pictures, because the girl that I took to prom, her parents had like a boutique store, outlet mall, antique mall thing up here.
I'm not scared of Victoria's Secret girls right now. Videotape them.
Videotape them, and yeah, bras and panties over there.
Sir, can you please leave them?
Yeah. So
yeah, because that pool would come out there.
So the pool came out here, but
the wall was there.
The ramp started where that elevator is, though, went out, and then curved back around. There was some kind of stage over there, but it came over here and came out over this waterfall area and came back down somewhere over through there. That's the part where we're having trouble remembering, but this was definitely where you had the waterfall that would shoot up and you'd throw your coins in there. And of course they changed the tile in there once or so, I think. So this is where the outside of the Dillard's is, and over to the left would have been the J.C. Penney's. And you can see the back side of these stop signs, they actually say Plaza Mayor. And I'm guessing at one point they probably just said Crossroads Mall, but they don't anymore. But that is the outside of the Dillard's. This is up closer to where the J.C. Penney's building is, and you can faintly make out where the writing was across through here. Looks like there was an E right there, but the lettering is long gone because the J.C. Penney's has been gone for a long time. But there were actually lights right across through there, and some of those lights have fallen down right in through there, and they probably haven't been lit up in a long time. Looking here at the J.C. Penney's and then this entrance right there, you can see this is the old Macy's right there, or back when we really shopped at this mall, it was Foley's. This is the building where the Macy's was at, Foley's before that, and you can see that they just have those doors pulled down and then the gates pulled across. And it's been closed for a real long time. That right there is another entrance into the Macy's, and you can see that they actually have that door open and the gate open. Now part of this is kind of just being worked on right now. There's a lot of places in the mall that are actually moving out since this mall is closing October 31st, 2017. I will not be going in there, but you can see lights on, so somebody is in there actually working or moving stuff out of there. There's all sorts of, you can hear a can going across like a tumbleweed. It's a beer can blowing across the parking lot. But you can see all sorts of people. The lights are going off, but there's moving trucks that are moving goods and stuff out of here. And these are old signs that would designate that this was handicap parking. So this is the back side of where Macy's would be, depending on what your definition of the back side is, but this would be on the east side. And this building right here that says Santa Fe South, it's actually a charter school now that they've moved in here and they're using, and I suppose it will continue because this anchor store is actually owned separately from the mall. One of the things that was interesting about Crossroads is this old oil pump here, and it's been here for a long time. I remember when this thing would work. I don't know whether or not that it still actively pumps oil, but I do remember it pumping oil. Wanted to show you these old signs right here that are still up here. Of course, Bath and Body Works is still going, and you can tell they glued something over the Zales, but that Zales is long gone, and so is the sign that covered that Zales. And there was also something that was covering Lenscrafters because you can see the glue on it, but it's long gone as well as the sign on the upper left. So this is kind of over on the other side of where Montgomery Ward's was a long time ago, and of course before this was a charter school, FEMA actually used it at one time. You can see the sign on the right that is empty, but that probably used to say Montgomery Ward's Auto Care, because that's exactly what that was Montgomery Ward's had an auto care center there, and they sold tires and wheels and worked on your car, all kinds of stuff. So I'm over here in the back part of this parking lot. This was the Overflow Parking, which there's no telling when this was used last. You can see the Montgomery Ward's Auto Care Center, but the last time that this Overflow Parking would have been used quite possibly would have been maybe the late 80s, possibly the early 90s. I haven't seen this back part used in a long time, and you can see grass. This grass is not supposed to be here. It's actually a cement parking lot, but I just can't remember the last time that this was actually used as a parking lot, at least for shopping in the mall. All of this would have been cement parking, and now nature is starting to take it over. Here is one of the entrance signs into Crossroads Mall. The name of the mall has changed and everything, but that's what it used to look like. Just, it would say Crossroads Mall and then kind of have a symbol through it. Much like what I showed you on one of the signs inside the building, that's what would have been stated here. So right across from Crossroads, more to the east, kind of to the south of it, and then there is the Montgomery Ward's Auto Care Center. There was something else here that was important, and here is what it is. It's an old movie theater that at the time, we didn't have a movie theater at Crossroads Mall, and this one was built, and it was a general cinema. At the time it was built, it was really nice. State of the art, one of the nicest ones that we had in the area, if not the nicest. And I can think of a lot of movies that I saw here with Sean, or with girlfriends on first dates, stuff like that. Tons of movies that I saw here. This was the only one that I knew of in the area, because we had Regal cinemas in places. We had AMC theaters in places, but this was a general cinema, and we didn't have these anywhere, so this was different, but everyone wanted to come here to see movies. And this parking lot, which was way out over that way, and even wrapping around more, used to be full of cars. And I can remember times parking even over in the Crossroads parking lot, and then walking over to try to get a movie that was a big movie, or maybe, and you were trying to get a ticket for a later time. But this was an extremely popular movie spot right here. And it used to all be blue and maybe gray. I'm having trouble remembering the colors, so if you can remember the colors, I seem to remember it being a gray building with like blue and saying GC on it. But this has changed into dollar movies and maybe a couple other things, and now it's completely out of business. The front of this theater is just in sad shape. I mean, the signs are busted. You can see the movie display windows. They've been broken off or busted. The windows have probably been busted, and so they've boarded it up. There's all kinds of rocks and bricks and stuff like that in the parking lot, and you can tell that people have been throwing stuff at it. And the bulbs are missing, like they've been broken or taken loose or whatever. I don't know, but it's sad to see this theater in this shape. Actually, above those doors, you'll notice that there's windows still above those doors. It's amazing that they didn't board those up the way that those are broken, because you can see that case that would display a movie poster and light up. It's been broken. Here is another entrance sign into the mall area that would have said Crossroads. You can see where the mall got its name. It's kind of faded, but the arrow pointing to the left and to the right of that says Interstate 35. And then the bottom one says Interstate 240, pointing to the right. And of course, those have faded. The arrows still remain. But that's how the mall got its name, Crossroads, is it's right at the intersection of those two interstates. So there you have it. It's one of the last tours that I have here at this mall before it closes on October 31st. Today is actually Columbus Day, but it was the only day that I had off of work that I could meet up with Sean one last time, since we used to come to this mall. he had to leave to go pick up his kids for the evening, and I spent a little bit more time here checking out stuff. Hopefully you can hear me. The wind is blowing strong, and I'm trying to use a soundproof mic, but this is really strong wind out here. But I just kind of wanted to say goodbye to the old Dillard's and the old J.C. Penney's, and one of the entrances that I used to go in a lot. And no telling what's going to happen with this next. Will they keep these anchor stores, tear down the middle part of the mall, use all of the mall and the anchor stores, or tear it all down? We don't know, but regardless, it's going to close. And a lot of memories here for a lot of people in the Oklahoma City area, on the south side and even outlying areas, because if you lived in a small town, you made your way into Oklahoma City and you shopped here, and it didn't matter where you came from, out west, you came from out east, you came from down south, and you came from up north, and this was the place to shop. Crossroads Mall. Thanks for joining me this one last time at Crossroads Mall.